I want y'all to know I'm gonna miss a lot of jokes as we re-record this episode that I didn't push the record button on. Utterly prepared, clapped off, did everything, but what we didn't do is push the record button. Actually, I need you to bring Tom.is back up because we need to clap again.
Okay.
Man, Mercury is in retrograde.
So that was a good 25 minutes of the show. I want y'all to know, people, that it's just
gone.
And here you're going to hear us clap. And I'm not going to take this out of the show. You're actually going to hear us clap. We're going to clap at 15 seconds. If y'all got it up. Everybody get good?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's okay.
And that Smokey, only thing I'm worried about is that Smokey Robinson bit. That was gold.
Sorry, baby. I'm sorry, baby.
I caught Nick. If I catch Nick, I know I won.
It was just the timing was so great too.
It's Crimpetix Day. It's a Great British Bake Off podcast, and we are clearly out of shape recording it because your boy did not push the record button. But it's okay. We good. That's the homie Nick Jew giggling her ass off.
I still can't get it together. I'm so sorry. We were having like a great conversation.
It's the 216's own Big Ant, man. What's the word?
I'm here.
There we here.
Isn't it?
What if we had got to the end?
It would not be the first time. I promise you. I've gotten deep into a skim recording before. We're like, didn't push go on that motherfucker, did I?
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Okay.
No, the worst is losing a show.
Yes, which don't you put that even on me, Ricky Bobby. It's only happened a couple of times in the years I've done it, but they are deadly when you do and I lost it. It's gone. It ain't nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
This is, of course, us discussing normally the Great British Bake Off, but in this instance, we're going to discuss the Great American Baking Show's 2023 Holiday Special, available over on the Roku channel, free of charge. You can watch on your computer. If you have a Roku device, you can watch it on your TV. I find watching it on the computer is helpful because I have an ad blocker on and don't get no commercials when I watch it on the computer.
Pro tip.
It's that new shit. The opening of the show was a little Christmas pageant bit, and I loved it because of just how happy Prue Leith looked coming out in that sleigh. And I love me some Prue Leith, and I like how down she is for the bit. And
just mischievous little giggles off in the cut.
Yeah, it's just a little grin. So,
when Prue is happy, the African really shows in her. Like, it really shows. Like, I'm like, yeah, I know, I can tell.
My other African queen.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I know she don't spank her kids with a shoe before. I know it.
Oh yeah, they do. It do feel like she done hit somebody with a chancleta. This episode comes in a whopping 1 hour, 15 minutes. Our first introduction of our new host, Miss Catherine Rose Wilson, who goes by Casey. Casey Wilson. She replaces Ellie Kemper. She's a writer and an actress and has a pretty decent IMDb page, which will, of course, be linked down in our show notes. It's right there at the bottom. People just scroll. It's there, I promise. But, every time we do these things, we have a segment. It's our little news segment. It's called Bakers Make the World Go Round. And what happens is, we have steps to this. And that is me having to, of course, make sure I'm recording the show going forward. But share my screen. Hit the entire screen button. Make sure I turn the system audio on so my host here can hear it. Click share. Look at the screen. Know it's working, but still worry that it's not going to work. Then I'm going to push play. Hey, and then they let me know they hear the music. Make the world go round. West Side.
Hey.
And of course, you get a little ditty that me and my children made together. And I read your news story. In this case, it's going to be all about our new host, Casey Wilson, just told me, and I still got it wrong. This is from the Good People Where People. The Great American Baking Show Celebrity Holiday is returning to Roku with Casey Wilson as the new co-host. And then in parentheses, it says exclusive because it's exclusive to the Good People I go over at People. Aaron Clack is on the byline. The Happy Endings actress will step into the show's iconic tent alongside co-host Zach Cherry for a star-studded holiday baking showdown. 'Tis the season for a special holiday edition of the Great American Baking Show. The Great American Baking Show Celebrity Holiday will be back on Roku this winter. People can exclusively reveal, with Happy Endings alum and Bitch Cess star Casey Wilson stepping into the show's iconic tent as a new co-host, alongside returning co-host Zach Cherry. Both will oversee a culinary showdown between 6 celebrity bakers who have yet to be announced in a holiday-themed edition of the U.S. adaptation of the iconic British baking competition series. The stars will don their aprons, fire up their ovens, and compete for the coveted Star Baker crown while trying to impress celebrity chefs Paul Hollywood and restaurateur Prue Leith. Again, I've never heard Paul described as a celebrity chef. It almost seems like it's a bit belittling. And I did not know Prue had anything to do with in the restaurant business. And now that I do, I kind of want to look into that.
Well, it's on the Roku channel. It's Paul has another show about breaking bread, and he has he's blending over the table and he's throwing flour at the camera. Yeah. That's how you could tell he's a rock and roll chef, because he has that picture like, wow, look at me razzle dazzle this shit.
I would never have called him a chef either. Like, I think I would have referred to him as a baker.
For sure. I think he refers to himself as a baker. So, yeah, because it's like, you know, I don't think I've ever seen Paul whipping up, you know, a stew or something. The man bakes, and he bakes bread in particular. Right. He's very particular about what he bakes. But whatever, you know, I'm not going to roll over this person's article writing, just saying. Who are both judges on the Great British Baking Show, known in the UK as the Great British Bake Off, and known in this house as the Great British Bake Off, because we respect
Mama named it Bake Off. We're going to call him Bake Off.
You're going to always be Bake Off to me. An exclusive first look of the Great American Baking Show Celebrity Holiday, set to premiere on the Roku channel on November 10th, reveals the baking tent festively decorated for the occasion with wreaths, twinkle lights, tinsel Christmas trees, boughs of holly, gingerbread houses, and more. Hollywood, Leith, Wilson, and Cherry also all sit together with a plate of celebrity baked goods in front of them, seemingly discussing the week's challenge. The U.S. adaptation premiered on Roku in May with 6-hour-long episodes featuring 9 amateur bakers from across the country. Cherry hosted together with The Office star Ellie Kemper. Would you call her the Office star, or would you call her the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt star?
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I didn't watch The Office that much, but I have yet to see her on any of the episodes people have shown me.
I feel like she's like late seasons edition.
Strangely
but I think Kimmy Schmidt was only on Netflix.
Yeah, but I mean, in this country, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but strangely enough, she's in Scott's Tots.
Episode.
I feel like somebody has shown me Scott's Tots. I don't remember it. I'm sorry.
It's all.
It's the one episode nobody watches. Like,
it's wild uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's the most uncomfortable episode. Maybe because it's black people in there, and it's like I just can't watch the episode. Just can't do it.
Anyway, the rest of that article will be available to you to read. It's there. I promise you again. It's in your show notes. Just scroll to the bottom of the page. It's right there. It's good. I've already copied it into the notes that I have for here on my computer, so it's real easy. I promise you they're there, and you'll enjoy the article. It's good stuff. But let's get to it. Let's discuss what we came here to recap and review, and that is the Great American Baking Show 2023 Holiday Special. Our celebrity bakers are as follows. Actor Arturo Castro, who I know from Broad City. I gotta watch Broad City. I don't know if you have not. It's a real fun show.
I feel like I saw a couple of episodes and I maybe was just watching it at the wrong time because everything about it felt like I would fuck with it, and it just didn't grab me.
Fair enough. And I say that because I watched Broad City when Broad City was fresh. Broad City may not hold up.
Yeah.
Not only does it not hold up, it gets worse as it goes on. Like the first couple seasons are very good.
Yeah.
It's very much diminishing returns.
What's my man Hannibal Buress is on there?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing him.
Yeah. Our next guy is Denver Nuggets center, DeAndre Jordan. Who?
Yes.
Nick has let us know. Had we made her aware that he was here, she
I'd
would
have
have been
watched
signed
it
up.
the day it premiered. I would have watched it several times since. There's a moment when he just looks at the camera and smiles, and I'm like, exactly.
I felt that too.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's some bloke, man. Got to give it up to him, man.
He's charming. He's funny.
Exactly.
I miss him and Blake Griffin being like the bosom buddies of the NBA.
Oh, that's they was holding down Lob City and with the Clippers back then.
Mm-hmm.
Facts, very good. Forgive me, NBA champion DeAndre Jordan. Let's put some respect on his name.
He's like the new school John Sally. Like I would hang out. I'm like, man, I would hang out with John Sally when I was 8. I was like, yeah, man, John Sally. He's like, I don't know how great he is at basketball, but I know he's funny.
Well, DeAndre is he's good on camera, very photogenic, but also had a good vibe. Just in general, I could definitely see him doing other TV stuff after this.
Just like John Sally.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Who's our next? Actor and comedian Joel McHale, who you might know from Community if you get down with Community. Also, The Soup, if you want to take it back even further. Also, he was in The Bear.
He was.
Yes,
had
he
a little
was.
cameo.
Yeah. Comedian, actor, and fellow podcaster Heather McMahon. I don't know her. I don't know nothing about her. But apparently she was in a movie that Christmas movie Love Hard. It came out last year. My man Jimmy O Yang and some lady who's not familiar to me at all. But I like that movie a lot. What's up?
Was that Nina Dobrev?
Was it? Okay, she's from Degrassi, the Next Gen.
That is Nina Dobrev. You are correct.
Yeah. And Vampire, she was on some vampire show, but I remember her from Degrassi.
Oh, well, yeah, that was one of it's I don't really Christmas movies come out every year, but I rarely do I get one I'm like, oh, I'll watch you again next year. That one I'm probably gonna watch here. Probably actually might watch that tonight. I don't know how y'all talking about it.
Oh, what Little Batman?
What's up?
Little Batman?
No, what's it called? Love Hard?
No. Yeah, Love Hard.
Isn't it don't they have like a Love Actually thing in that movie? What is the cat? Well, anyway.
Yeah, I think the premise might be like, yeah, you got to watch Love Actually. Like, this what happens in it. One of those movies is like that, though.
And Die Hard. Yes.
And Die Hard, yes.
Yes.
Fuck with it. Actress and comedian Ego Wadham from SNL is on here. And gorgeous and great. And yeah, please. Thank you.
Yes, please.
I'll gladly take a heaping help and give that. Thank you.
Yes.
And last but not least, Bedford, Ohio's own. If you're from Cleveland, you know what's up. Comedian, writer, actor, and former podcaster Phoebe Robinson, former Two Dope Queens, Queen, is in the building, and it's a fun addition to this situation. She could be, I'm not trying to kick anybody out the tent, but now that I know that she gets down with the show, she could easily be a host on this show. She could be Allison.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
She is a Hawkins graduate, so she knows she got the chops for anything.
That's what's up. So let's get to it, people. Your signature bake this go round: 12 festive sandwich cookies. Got an hour and 45 to make it happen. Phoebe's up top. In fact, she's going for a lemon ornament cookie, lemon shortbread filled with a lemon buttercream. Heather is going for almond stars. She called them her starfish cookies. Almond flavored star shaped cookies filled with a raspberry jam. Ego's going for matcha Christmas trees, matcha cookies filled with a vanilla buttercream. Nothing said about matcha about how Paul don't bang up matcha. Nobody looked at it twice. Nothing was mentioned. That's some bullshit.
I guess he was trying to be nice in front of company.
That's exactly what it was. I ain't gonna show out right now, but y'all know what it is.
I hate
Joel
matcha.
is trying to make chocolate peanut butter gingerbread man in quotes because it's just the shape of gingerbread man. They're not ginger in any way, shape, or form. Chocolate cookies filled with a peanut butter buttercream. DeAndre is making, who is our vegan tit in the baker. It's our stunt baker this go around. It was very unexpected. I did not expect him to come in and be like, I'm plant-based. I'm like, all righty. That's what's up. He's making gingerbread snowmen, gingerbread cookies filled with cinnamon buttercream. Arturo is making a singing branch cookie singing branch cookie. The singing branch was a branch on his childhood Christmas tree, apparently, that sang in what he described as a nightmare-inducing or nightmare-like Christmas song. But his mom kept it on that tree, which is pretty hilarious to me. His cookies are shortbread cookies filled with a chocolate hazelnut buttercream. Shall we judge it? Let's judge it, people. DJ's up first, which is weird. They called him DJ, and I was like, did we call him DJ? That we do? We don't call him DeAndre?
I maybe, I don't know. We're in the sort of relationship where I don't follow him on social media because I feel like my relationships last longer with men when I don't follow them on social media. You see, me and what's his name? Craig Robinson. We had a good thing going for several years. And then I followed him on Instagram and it ended shortly thereafter.
Did he say something reckless?
He didn't say something reckless, but he was doing these lives during the pandemic where he would let someone come on, and he let this chick come on. Her name was Nicole, and she was like very young and dancing on the stripper pole. And I was mad.
Yeah, but she was stripping.
I didn't appreciate my man doing like that all in front of everybody.
He was entertaining them hoes, and you ain't like that. You're not supposed to do that. I get it. I overstand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, DJ currently still Nicole's boo.
Right.
His cookies look uniform. They're attractive, and the biscuit is thin, just like how the Brits like it. The flavor is strong, but Prue likes it. The level of ginger slightly burns Paul's mouth. Prue loves ginger, so she says she can take it a bit more than this guy who's a bit of a wimp. Well done for his first vegan bake. Which, let's discuss right quick. I said, these are some of the most boring sounding cookies ever.
Man.
No swag, no panache, no nothing. Cookie, buttercream, cookie, buttercream, cookie, buttercream. And I get it. It's easy. It's probably the easiest bake that you can provide for these guys. You don't want them coming out here embarrassing themselves. But then also you kind of do, because that's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah.
But this isn't nailed it. You don't want people coming up fucking up. You want them to bake something good. I
just don't understand why you would go on a baking show if you've never baked.
Exposure. That is who need not a one of these. Okay, maybe Heather because I don't know who she is.
This is the first time I've seen this lady. She needs this.
I bet you that lady is extremely white famous. Like I bet you if I mention her name at work, 6 women around me would be like, "Oh my god, I love her. I listen to her podcast."
I need a report by Friday.
Title that I can't use, but white famous. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
But I think for a black middle-aged man, I'm pretty in tune to what white people like for the most part. Like
I don't doubt that at all, but there is a very specific genre of white women stuff. Like we were talking about Casey being friends with June Diane Raphael and they friends with like Suchin Pak and all that. There's like a whole network of white women stuff, including white women of color that I barely know about. Like, what's her name's podcast? She has a weird name. It's going to come to me, but there's a whole like TikTok heavily, and it just, if you get into the right, algorithm, you unload, but it's not something that I would expect anybody to know.
It's certainly a blind spot for me.
Yeah,
and
I really feel like her and Joel was on 11 about some shit. Like when She needed this. This was her time, baby.
No, she's just chatty. She is just like, I liked her instantly because she felt like somebody I would know, like a friend of mine. But then it was just, she would not turn down ever.
For what?
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's like she brought her big personality that her mom told her to have on the first day of kindergarten. She's just like, I can't stop it. This ain't really me, but I can't stop it.
Bruh, I just typed in Heather in TikTok, and her name is the first one that comes up.
So again, she don't need it, but this American Baking Show on Roku channel needs it, and they need everything they can. All these people saying, "Hey, I'm on Bake Off or Baking Show," makes their profile that much more larger. So that's cool. That's dope.
Busy Phillips is the name I was trying to come up with.
Oh man,
actually, I used to fuck with Busy Phillips on many a program. And then, of course, you know, she come from the line of Wilson Phillips, and then therefore comes from the line of the Beach Boys. Yeah, it just kind of works itself out. People,
Busy Phillips is not one of those Phillips.
Busy Phillips is not one of Wilson Phillips' sisters. Because
no,
I could have sworn she was.
Busy Phillips from Freaks and Geeks. No, she is not.
I thought she's related to somebody famous.
Show for show. We're gonna look up Miss Busy Phillips this instant, sir.
I am willing to bet you.
I mean, her parents are not either of those people.
Nope.
Busy Phillips is from She's from Chicago. Who is their sister? They had a sister that was not in Wilson Phillips. That was.
I forgot the one that was in black and white. I know who you're talking about.
Okay, there you go. I'm just confusing those particular Phillips. Philippi.
Right. I thought she was part of that family too. You is very right. Yeah. But yes, I
told you I was in two with my white women.
Right. but what I'm saying is, do you listen to her podcast?
Which one?
Busy's.
I used to. I know her from Freaks and Geeks, and I know with June Diane Rayfield because her husband Paul Scheer.
Right. But I'm saying, do you listen to their podcast? That's the intricacies I'm talking about. Heather is a podcast girl.
Man, I'm not.
I listen to any. If I were to pick up my phone and take a look at my podcast applications, this has nothing to do with a baking show. I realize people, but now I gotta wonder. I think there is one white woman amongst my. Okay. If we count Nintendo Voice Chat, there are a couple white women on that program. But I listen to basically a lot of podcasts, and there's only one white woman amongst them, and that is Heather Ann Campbell, a writer from Rick and Morty, who is on the podcast Get Played. I listen to a headdown podcast about video games.
I have two. They're both on the same show, and it's the two ladies from the I've Had It podcast.
Yes, you've been put us onto that, John. So, all right, Eggo's up next. Her cookies are described as very sweetly decorated. The buttercream is so sweet that it probably needed half as much, and also probably something to cut the sweetness. Paul recommended a lemon zest or an orange zest. The decoration Paul likes. It's uniform. There's a slight depth in the cookies. Some are a little thicker, some a little thinner. Overall, not bad. And Prue, of course, thinks they're really delicious. Grandma Prue coming through, making all the babies feel loved. Arturo's up next. Light and crumbly, a delicious biscuit. The filling is delicious. It looks hideous, but the textures and flavors are spot on. They look hideous because he makes these triangles, and he sprinkles these little green shapes on there that makes it kind of look like a tree, but had nothing to make the little sprinkles adhere to the cookies. And the first time we recorded this, we discovered the idea or the notion that we figure if he would have used like an orange glaze or a lemon glaze, lemon seems to be everybody's flavor jam over there. A little thin lemon glaze would have been almost pretty much clear enough, you know. And he could have sprinkled those same sprinkles on there, and it would have just looked great, and it wouldn't have made for too messy a bake.
He just fucking shit the sprinkles.
Shits on top of the cookies. So of course, Paul look at it first, and he's like, and he picked that cookie up, and all those sprinkles just come sloughing off, and he's like, okay, so
he said, "What is adhering the sprinkles to the cookie?"
and then the next one he just kind of rub, get a little like, and he like, oh, so nothing is adhering these sprinkles. That's the dumbest
hopes, dreams, wishes.
So Bijou Phillips is the Phillips.
That's the one. That's the one.
You understand how Bijou and Busy is wild close in texture, right?
And sadly, her husband was Danny Masterson. He is Danny Masterson.
Oh, so they Scientologists?
No, well, I don't know if. They just got divorced.
Yeah, they sure did.
She wasn't doing life.
Yeah, she wasn't doing a bid with his ass. Good for her.
Ooh, that hurt my feelings. Hurt my soul a little bit.
Sorry, man. Heather's up next. Some really thick, some really thin, some overbaked. It's got good jam. Needed the strong almond flavor to balance out the jam. As it turns out, Heather just freestyle for a little bit and poured a bunch of almond extract into her, and they came and talked to her. Was like, "What'd you do? How much does the recipe cost for? A teaspoon. And how much did you put in there? 2 tablespoons." It was wild. And
then she was like, "Can I fix it by adding vanilla extract?" They were like, "Don't put shit else in it." At this point,
but here we are judging it. As it turns out, the intense almond flavor needed to exist to balance out with the raspberry flavor. It tasted great. Paul does take issue with the fact that the cookies, the top cookie and the bottom cookie don't match, because the bottom cookies was burnt and she put them at the bottom to hide them shits. Unlike Paul wouldn't go pick it up and go, it just flipped that shit.
I don't understand why she didn't just match the cookies together. Just put the darkest part on the inside.
But then there'd be some cookie racism. We don't need all that. Right. She was trying to bring it together. You know what I'm saying?
And you see what happens? It was called out immediately. Because it was some bullshit.
Joel's up next. And I like this one because Paul first goes, "It looks a bit." And he takes a beat and he thinks about it and he goes, well, you know what? I like the shape of them. I don't know what he's going to say, but he stopped himself cold, considered it, and corrected course. Prue is, of course, surprised by how nice they are. It's kind of fucked up. But the texture's good. The filling's good. The consistency of the filling, this is a good one, y'all, is a bit plasticine-like.
And Joel said we don't use that word in America.
This is the first thing I had to look up on the show, which had me go, let me tell you right now, I'm making the show, I'm writing these notes, I'm like, this ain't feeling like it felt. But then I got this, and I'm like, yeah, there you go. Some zhush. Something I get to go fucking look up and go discover and take a journey with you and my fellow host and you, the listener. Let's find out what plasticine is, people. Plasticine is a putty-like modeling material made from calcium salts, petroleum jelly, and aliphatic acids. And it was the brand name of the British version of the product. At this point, it's become like Kleenex and Band-Aid. It's kind of lost all meaning. Mm-hmm. But basically, it's what they make, Wallace and Gromit movies out of, and your claymation joints out of, your Gumbies of the world. So it's a very specific type of material. And Ant pointed out that they apparently are running out of it.
It's almost gone, like Hall & Oates.
Damn, that's some sad shit. You been hearing about that?
Oh yeah,
man, that's a wow. They end up with Joel saying, "Hey, not a disaster," which is a sneak diss if I ever heard one. Like, did you have an expectation of disaster? Why do you think it was going to be a disaster? You don't know me like that. But hey,
get back.
Phoebe comes in and is bringing up the rear, and they say it's an unusual shape and color, which of course we laugh about because that's a standard ass Christmas order in America, and apparently not so in England.
It looked almost great because I remember my grandma had a bunch of those, and that was the fancy ones with the inlay in it. It was almost like those was like, these go in the middle. Y'all don't touch these.
Mm-hmm.
Prue likes what she's done with the pink, and that's hilarious because what it is, she has sprinkled some pink sugar on them. Now, what did she do to get those? I guess she put it on there when they were baking, so that's why it adhered. Man, he really could have just put them on there while he was baking, and they probably would have stuck just fine. They're not gonna melt. And I'm so disappointed in Arturo now that I think further on it.
And even if they did melt, it would have helped his cause because he was trying to make a tree branch.
All pretty well rolled. Prue loves the flavor and texture, but thinks it needs more filling because the biscuits are quite thick. Looks probably need more time on them, according to Paul. But Paul making the fake because Phoebe really wanted the handshake, and Paul's handshake fake out is never not funny. It's just the best thing. And
it was real good.
Like, why did he do that? Why is that? Why does he do that? And why is that so funny? If you don't know what it is, you should probably watch. Phoebe forcing the handshake was also pretty hilarious. Phoebe grabbed my man Paul's hand and saying, "We solve racism," was great. And a joke you normally wouldn't get in the tent. So it was really real fun. Let's get on down to technical time, people. Our technical
I need
challenge.
that we solved racism as like a GIF, a little video clip. I need to be able to use it frequently.
At all times. We just save that somewhere and like, we'll call this up every now and again.
I feel like you should just use it. Like when you just accomplish something. Like,
right. we solved racism. It's like that part from the Tom Hanks movie Castaway. I said that shit all the time. Anytime I accomplish something, I'm like, I have made fire.
Bro, don't you know for a very long time, I kept a lighter on my person just because of that movie?
Listen.
And like not no big, I kept like a Zippo that could light under the worst of circumstances just because of that flick. I was a changed man after seeing Castaway, y'all. Just want y'all to know. That movie, now never should I be in a situation where I was going to be stranded on an island anywhere, but just in case.
Just in case.
Your technical challenge this week is to make 6 Sufganiyot. Sufganiyot are jelly donuts. And that explanation was wild. Apparently these are eaten during Hanukkah. And again, I bang with multiple Jewish people in life and have never heard these mentioned. But also, as it turns out, a lot of Jewish people, most Jewish people, I tell you, don't really fuck with Hanukkah either. It's not a high holy day or whatever that you want to describe it. It's not a high holiday. Nowhere to really bang with the Maccabees like that. So that is capitalism trying to make fetch happen and kind of succeeding in that we all know it. It's on our calendar. It exists, but go talk to people who you would think are getting down with it, and they like, nah, we don't really get down with that.
They'll do like first night is kind of a big deal for a lot of families.
Yeah, so.
Well, not that, I mean, I'm not a Judaism expert.
Hey, I'm just saying I got some friends.
Yeah.
And they tell you the same. So here's the deal with these. They need to be filled with raspberry jam, dusted with powdered sugar, and topped with a gold dusted raspberry. They gave them 2.5 hours to do this. And here in my notes I wrote, I don't like this same simultaneous on your mark, get set, bake. That is Casey and Zach saying it at the same time. That's not how he gets down. I need it on your mark. Then somebody says get set, and then another person says bake. That's what we do, and you just flip it up between challenges. Somebody goes first the first time, somebody goes first the next time. It's that easy. Get the shit together before this next season American Baking Show, okay? The recipe they were given is far more detailed than anything they ever give bakers on regular Bake Off. Like such very specific instructions, bit by bit by bit. Only thing I didn't say on there was how long they needed to prove their dough, which will, of course, become a problem later on for some and not so much for others. So let's judge this. Phoebe's up top here. An unusual shape, good color, not a lot of filling. Taste okay, but needed more jam and a better shape. Prue was so mad about the lack of jam in these bad boys. Like, this is so stingy. It's so mean to not have no jelly in here. Like, okay, Prue, baby, settle down. Man. We tried.
She said, where's the damn jam?
For sure. Arturo's up next. Heavy. A decent amount of jam, but really oil. Clearly, the frying oil was not hot enough when they went in, and therefore the dough just absorbed a bunch of the oil. So you end up with this really yucky kind of situation there. Joel's up next. Looks like a boat. Nice icing sugar, but raw inside. The dough was not properly risen, meaning it was improved right. Had they asked for 6 fritters, would have been spot on.
Right?
That's fucked up.
How you make a whole different kind of pastry? And why are y'all frying shit on the baking show?
That's the first thing I said. I was like, T and Nick ain't gonna like this.
No. So for once, it dawned on me what's going on here. This is all about, and we kind of figured it out last time, this is all about your proving.
The rising
proving
dough
is just such an important part of most baking situations.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a dough situation here. And you need to make the dough right, and it needs to prove right to therefore then be cooked right.
Yeah, I wasn't that mad about this, but I was like, oh, here we go with the damn deep fryer.
Echo, quite dark, properly risen, sort of on its way, not shaped well, over fried, too much of a strong color, but the flavors are there.
She said they have a pastry just like that in Nigeria, but they just don't put anything inside of it. So she was familiar with the concept.
Yep. DJ, never seen donuts like these. They look like pancakes or UFOs. Quite good dough, a bit oily. And then they like Joel chimes in, oilier than the other ones, you know what I'm saying? Because he's basically trying to clown his own shit out. But
DeAndre was the only person who knew how to use the deep fryer and didn't look crazy. Like, why were people that were adding so many extra steps? Just put the thing in and then drop the basket, and the basket does all the work for you. What were they doing?
Again, I don't think these people have ever cooked for themselves. Again, it makes me okay. So like maybe I don't know.
Well, here's the thing: if they live in New York, they probably don't cook.
Fair.
You live in New York, you make a decent amount of money. You just order food. You make breakfast, like on the weekends, you'll make eggs and shit, or have like a dinner party every once in a while.
Yeah, and Heather said that she was from Atlanta, and so that's a big enough city where maybe it's in that vibe, depending on how old she is.
But she had this in the bag, and she knew it too. She was like, "Oh, I got this. Like we try everything in the South. This is me."
As for Miss Heather, they like the look of this. It's the right color. The texture is right. The frying is good. Some jam. It has some jam. It's a nice open texture. A decent donut that's delicious to Prue. Let's rank them. Joel, the honor of having made the worst donut we've had.
Wow. Wow.
Arturo, a bit heavy. Needed longer proving. And in this case, in my notes, I wrote, you should listen to Phoebe, who told him not to take it out that drawer.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You're doubting people.
So it's
if I'm going to listen to anybody, it's going to be the super fan.
Yes, because she at least watches the damn show.
Correct.
Is the proving drawer temperature controlled like a wine, a Vinitec, or does it just keep the moisture and the temperature of the room out of the dough?
As I understand it, it is a slightly warm drawer.
Okay.
So it's just enough to keep the yeast happy and bubbling and doing what it does.
Gotcha.
So
it's like where we keep our extra pots and pans at.
Yeah, but some of those are like the broiler, but some of those don't do anything. But so when you put your dough to rise, you put it in the fridge, you leave it out on the counter. What do you do to prove at home?
It depends. So what I usually do is I'll put the oven on like 250 and then I'll turn it off and then
put it in there.
And then put it on the oven. And sometimes I'll put it on keep warm at that setting. Like my oven has a keep warm setting. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I usually do it at under.
Fair enough. DeAndre, not a bad donut. Not a perfect one. A bit greasy. Ego, too dark. You can taste the burn, but the texture and flavor are good. Phoebe, the dough is lovely, just not enough jam. Which means Heather comes in first in the technical. Color's perfect. Jam inside, spot on. Texture was really good. Had they been shaped better, they would have been perfect. So just this side of not perfect, which is all right. Oh, goodness me. Our showstopper. Were you Showstopper?
No. But you know what? It gave me a little bit of perspective because all of the times that I was not show stopped in the actual show, some of these cakes looked kind of like the shit that we saw. That's all I'm gonna say.
They want them to make a favorite childhood toy basically into a cake, 3.5 hours to complete. It's basically take one of your dope Christmas gifts and make it happen in cake form. And I don't feel like that. I get it. That's a good and interesting idea. I don't think anybody did it.
No.
And in fact, I think they reached for toys that they thought would have been easy to cake up or cake into. And therefore, well, no, I truly believe DeAndre really enjoyed the toy he made. And I think Phoebe really did fuck with video games like she said she did. I just don't think it was illustrative in what they created here.
Why would you make black fondant? Why?
Genesis controllers are black.
Yeah, I don't. It just did. It looked like a big black blob.
I get it. I truly do.
Joel's up top. I knew that was a Genesis from that long ass start button she put on there.
Joe's gonna make a drum cake. Chocolate sponge filled with chocolate ganache coated in a chocolate hazelnut liqueur buttercream. Just reading it out, you makes me want to yawn. Nothing about this seems interesting. A drum cake, you're just making a cylinder. You're just making at that point. You're sure have at it. Eggo is making easy bake cake, and that at least is interesting to it. She's making a red velvet cake filled with cream cheese buttercream. Again, as I run down this list again, it's the same thing as the cookies before. It's cake, it's buttercream. It's cake, it's buttercream. It's boring, is what it is. Phoebe is going for a controller cake, blue velvet sponge with cream cheese buttercream. If had she been able to call a spade, she would have said, "I'm making a Sonic the Hedgehog cake," because that's what she was doing.
Yes,
and she just was unable to say that because it's brand. DJ was making a game console cake. He's making a Game Boy. But again, they said Game Boy too. When they're in discussion, but they didn't really come out the pocket and say, he's making a Game Boy cake. Vegan chocolate sponge filled with peanut butter buttercream. Heather just let us know that she's a wild old lady when she was a little kid, and what she wanted was an electric blanket. This is going to be a strawberry sponge with layers of strawberry glaze and a strawberry buttercream in betwixt everything. And Arturo's going for a twister cake, an eggnog sponge with an eggnog buttercream. That to me is the most interesting and most holiday-like of all these bakes right here. And I wish it had worked out for him. Let's judge these things. Arturo, they like the top because it's made to look like the game Twister. And so he did put some effort into that, and it actually was pretty well, interestingly decorated.
His cake was the one that reminded me of somebody else's Showstopper cake.
Do tell.
I can't remember who it was, but when he put it down, I was like, I remember somebody putting a cake this size and about this amount of decoration down.
Fair enough. Sponge. So they look at it, they're like, "Wow, this is well decorated. That's a decent job." And then they cut into that bad boy, and they're like, "This sponge looked underbaked." They love the eggnog flavor, but the cake texture is all wrong because it's
raw. But they didn't say raw. They were nice.
It's raw in the middle, but it's charming look. They like the flavor. It's just not good on the texture. Eggo's up next. They like the color. Like the design, it cuts so easily. It looks like a beautiful cake. Very light, nice texture, delicious icing. Would have wanted more icing in the middle, in fact. Paul really likes it for such a rich sponge. A little bit of grain, which could have been mixed out, but otherwise well done. Prue thinks it's fantastic. DeAndre, level and the shape is particularly good. A bit solid, claggy, But in this case, DeAndre like, I left college a little early. What does claggy mean? Paul's like, I didn't even go to college. Let me tell you what claggy means.
That's some UK shit, brother.
all right, bro. And they describe claggy, but when they describe claggy in DeAndre's case, they don't mean it offensively. They're like, let me tell you something. You pulled off something here with a vegan cake because most vegan cakes can't make this happen. So like they're like kind of impressed that he managed to make a claggy vegan cake because it's something that normally only would happen in a regular standard cake. So it's kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting, bro. You might have pulled something off here, which I think is kind of dope.
I was not mad at DeAndre this entire competition. I think he had a decent showing.
Yes. Even if you weren't vegan, you would enjoy that cake. Well
That's
done.
High compliment.
For sure. Joseph next. Looks beautiful. Very festive. The sponge texture on the hair there is not right. And Paul asked, did you use oil in this? And Joe's like, yeah, vegetable oil. And Paul's like, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
And Joe's sitting there like, you can taste that? And I'm like, you can't?
Yeah, can't? Yeah.
But he says it affects the bake, and so it probably needed longer in the oven. But they love the way it looks. The flavor is actually kind of lovely. They like the little crunchy bits. The ganache could have been lighter. Paul thinks he probably should have put whipped cream throughout it and would have made for a fluffier kind of ganache filling situation, and therefore a lighter overall situation. But considering what he did yesterday, they're like, this is fantastic. I didn't think he took too much of an L the first time. They said they liked it because they thought the filling was a little off, but he did come in last and had to go. So I kind of understand that. Heather's up next. As novelty cakes go, very impressive. The blanket is beautifully done. Prue loves the little scalloped edges. It's really well decorated for what, for like just a person who out here baking cakes.
Yeah, because they were like, it's going to be horrifying. And it didn't look too bad.
No, not at all. Certainly taste of strawberries. The sponge, although, is quite dense. And in fact, the sponge is claggy. In this case, it is not complimentary. Paul takes it with touching the cake, and then he basically makes a little ball out of it. He says it's pretty much raw. But what I actually think it is just it's more Americanized bake. This is the moist cake we've been sold on TV for all our lives. As it turns out, it's probably just the wrong way to be doing it. So
like
we've been taught wrong this
commercial.
Whole time.
Like this, that's how you tell if the cake is moist, and then they put the fork down.
They put a fork in it and press down, and like this is it. This is what you're trying to get down with. As it turns out, that's actually just very wrong. That's more of a pudding. And that'd be great if you're selling me pudding, but you're not. You're trying to sell me cake, and cake should be a light sponge. And trust me, as I've gone through the years of watching Bake Off, and I'll be getting cakes now, and I'll be like, they done fucked this whole cake. I'll be knowing it now, and it's like, I don't know if I need this. You shouldn't have gave me that kind of power. Now I got this data point to work off of, but I know when the cake ain't right. Then I'm a big old cake snob, and it takes a terrible turn. I get real Virgo on that shit. The design is terrific and beautifully done, but the texture is a bit disappointing. Phoebe's bringing up the rear. A little rough and ready. But the font that really helps with that. You know what I'm saying? The little circle on the top and it's definitely the Sonic logo, y'all. It's just Sonic ain't in the middle of it. Paul pulls the I don't like it. I love it. And the pause between that like and that love sucked the air out of the room for me and just I was like, okay.
Same.
He got me on that shit.
He got me, and then like right before the silence broke, I went, "Oh no, he loves it," and we basically said it at the same time. I was so happy for her, though.
For sure. A very, very good sponge. The 3 layers equals more filling, which remember that's what they wanted in the Eggo's cake. It's all very symmetrical. It's a great looking cake. Well done. She made a blue velvet, y'all, and it's like. It looked intensely blue, but I was like, yeah, that's what you want for a Sonic cake.
Yeah.
What's up?
Now that you're saying that, it was like, it's even more impressive now that I realized it was a fucking Sonic cake. And the fact that she couldn't really say what would have made it even doper, but it probably wouldn't have worked, is having a yellow icing.
That or some red shoes on top of that bitch instead of them controllers.
With the pilgrim belt and all.
Yeah,
some gold rings.
Yeah, it's some things we could have did, and who knows? Like I said, she in the state in a rush in a thinking process. So, but yeah, some things.
I was going to say they were really impressed with Eggo's Red Velvet. So for her to like even take it up a notch was like really cool.
Yeah, they fought backstage.
Mm-hmm.
Your star baker for the Great American Baking Show Holiday Special 2023 is one Phoebe Robinson. The dough queen herself did the damn thing, and I love it. Earned. Really was. I like I said, she did really well in the signature and did really well in came second in tech. And then, you know what I'm saying? Basically first in Showstopper, which is as it should be. So
and she was holding hands walking off with Paul. She was like, "Are you married?"
Yeah, she asked him that early in the game, and he was like, "No." And I was like, Prue was like, I'm kind of sick of these two flirting with each other. Y'all got to chill.
Right.
Like, if I find out ever in life that them two made something happen, I'd be okay with that.
Because I believe that she really is attracted to him. Like, that seems to be her wheelhouse.
I mean, Rich Paul got a deal, so Cleveland, UK do connect. Fair,
yeah. I can see that. If Rich Paul and Adele can be married, because they did say they was married recently, right?
Well, she will say, but he hasn't said so yet.
I don't even know what to do with that.
He is from East Cleveland, so you know. Not Cleveland.
Type of nigga.
He's from East Cleveland.
Play that close to the chest for.
He ain't gonna
I'm going to not say anything just in case.
It's okay. Just trust us on this one, okay? we be out here knowing.
EC.
You know what I should probably do is just check our
feedback situations.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't even think about that, but do some little cracks here. I'm almost positive we had some interaction on the at least one on the Spotify page that I have not peeped yet. But let me hit the email just in case. Boom. No, nothing in the email. We do have just a singular interaction on the finals episode of Bake Off. Bevy 19, Series 6 2015 winner was Nadia Hussein. Series 5 winner was Nancy Birthwhistle. If we have to wait for a new season to listen to y'all again, pretty please recap and review these two series. Okay. You've made a request. One, you're going to get this episode and probably going to be kind of surprised.
We gave you something.
We gave you a little something. But we'll see what happens in Series 6 and Series 5. All right. Oh, my question was, what was your favorite? The question was, what is your favorite Bake Off series so far? And that her answer was season 6.
Who were those winners? Nadia and
Nancy.
Yeah, I've seen both of those.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go back and watch some of the ones like that's on the Roku channel.
Yeah,
they got some of the older ones with Mary Berry. Not Marion Barry, but still pretty good.
The bitch set me up. If you know, you know. Oh man, y'all missed I want y'all to know.
Man,
y'all missed a Hanukkah joke. That you just had to get there. And I'm sorry that you don't get it, but I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I got the experience.
I was sitting here thinking, could we recreate it? I was just like, I mean, that's okay.
Chinooka is the realest shit ever read. Smokey, I love you, man.
it was just the way you said, I don't even know what it is, but happy Chinooka. I mean, I know, like I said, they did set them up because ever since I've seen that bit, every time I see Hanukkah, it is with an H. And he was just like, what is Chinooka? Because even if you just go to the grocery store, you do see Hanukkah. It do say it up there.
I've seen it with the C a lot, though.
You see, I mean, it's like the FedEx sign to me right now because, every time I've seen it since, it's always been with an H. I have not seen the C in so long. And it's just like, they set him up. They was being fancy and putting that C up there. And when he go to Mervin's to the store, he be like, that's an H. Ain't no C there.
Yeah, even my phone got it spelled with the H. It ain't
apparently there are 20 variations of the spelling.
See?
Chinooka is the more traditional spelling.
Yeah, it's always somebody like, yeah, I spell color like this. I put a U in my
I spell check with a Q and a U, my guy.
Yes.
That's how he gets down.
It's always somebody.
Oh my gosh. All right. When next we meet, assuming, okay, here's the deal. Because we already discussed this as a group, as a family. In theory, next thing is going to be Great American Baking Show. It should come around the spring. But if between there and now, we sit there and we get the itch, because the itch arrives, we will probably go back and hit you for, do we say season 1? Just that first one?
Or we could do one of the requested ones.
Okay, that's fine. So you might get a 5, or you might get a 5 and 6. I think was what she just said. And so that's quite possible that more toward let's go with February as a little tide you over.
Black History.
For sure. Oh yeah, that'd be dope to do Nadia because saying she black. So that'll probably be when next we come together to do this. Unless some shit. Although I do kind of really want to see, because this the New Year's one for this year got some people we fuck with on it. So, but that's in the UK version of it, which means I'm gonna have to send y'all the link and so forth. Y'all know what it is.
But there's also like all these American holiday baking shows and things are happening. Like there's some stuff over here that we'll have a post-production chat about it.
For sure. So don't think we're going away for too long is what it comes down to. But we get to tell you Merry Christmas for those celebrating.
Happy Chinooka.
Happy Chinooka,
though that has well and true past. But for next time. We never know when you're gonna listen to this. You may listen to this next time.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa for those celebrating. Happy Feast of St. Stephen's. That's Boxing Day for those who gets down.
Happy Diwali. It passed.
Definitely already happened. I'm like, wait, I know Diwali happened.
I'm just covering everything that has happened since Thanksgiving.
Fair. And of course, Happy New Year, 2024. 24 karat gold, baby. We out here. And it's going to be lovely. That is, of course, Nick Jew.
Y'all were talking about a song on regular skim that I was like, I swear I imagined this song, but apparently I must have just had an original copy of Doggy Style.
Yeah.
G's up, hoes down.
Yeah.
This for the G's, this for the. I'm very unhappy with how they placed it on this 30th anniversary, which I wish they would have put in the effort that it deserved, but alas, they did not.
I love Pump Pump, but it does come in abruptly after that skit.
Facts. That is, of course, the 216's own Tatum.
I believe in collective work and responsibility. Coochie Chocolate bitches.
I am Dinner at 713. Thank you for baking with us. Catch you next time. Peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.